What's up, you guys? Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, here with a name you know. We spoke to him last year in Dallas. Man, how things have changed. Shortly after that, you won the Intercontinental title. You have not relinquished it at all.
Nope.
We got Gunther here. How you doing, man?
I'm very good, thank you.
A historic reign. Are you aware that about a week before you break that record, you will be in the hometown of the Honky Tonk Man?
No.
For Raw.
Not till now. Is that? Yeah, we're in Memphis, right?
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that's his hometown, but
that's his hometown.
Memphis.
I have this vision of you making an open challenge, and here comes out the Honky Tonk Man,
Yes.
70 years old, and you just chop him into dust.
I don't think I would do that.
You wouldn't do
Yeah,
that.
he's retired.
Is he? He's never truly
I
retired.
don't know. Does he still do the indies? I don't know.
He'll pop up at signings. I saw him a few months
See?
ago. I think for the right amount of money, he would take that.
Yeah, but I don't think I'm in competition with the Honky Tonk Man, so I think it's all right.
So, I mean, this reign has been historic, and obviously everybody's looking at that date. Before then, as we film this, you've got Drew McIntyre,
Yeah.
a person who has main evented WrestleMania, a person who has been a world champion. How do you look at this task? And, I mean, you're obviously going after something that he has had in the past as well.
Yeah.
Main eventing WrestleManias, being world champion as well. But right now you got that Intercontinental title.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Drew has definitely, his career so far has been very impressive. And I'm just getting started here in WWE, right? But that doesn't really intimidate me, if that makes sense. Overall, I think I'm excited for it because I always wanted to have a singles match with Drew. And I know Drew wanted that for a long time as well. So that alone, I think, promises to be very exciting for everybody involved.
So we have a pretty broad subscriber base, and our subscribers voted you and Sheamus best match of the year last year.
Yes.
It was special. It was something that you watch, you can't take your eyes off of.
Yes.
What type of feeling do you have after that? Because, I mean, obviously, you're beat to hell. Is there a sense of fulfillment? Is there a sense of, I just did something?
The thing is, I guess to some degree, but everything kind of happens so fast that it's very hard to actually sit back sometimes and enjoy or reflect on what happened and stuff like that. Overall, it was great. I think Clash at the Castle was good for me because it was the first big pay-per-view match for me, or PLE as we say now.
Yes.
And I could just showcase myself, showcase to the audience what I do. I think the style of match I put on is nothing they have really seen on that scale before. I think that's why it stood out and why it was special. And Sheamus was a great opponent for that because he doesn't stop. So you really got to put a lot of effort in to keep that guy down.
And then, about midway through the point that we are now, you're in the ring with Sheamus and Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Another match that so many people were just exhilarated by. I remember one of the first times you popped up on a lot of people's radar was, I believe it was Mania weekend years ago against PCO, and everybody took note. Everybody was talking about you and PCO.
Yeah.
I mean, how far? You look back at how far you've come since then. What is that like to you to look back at that type of match compared to what you did this past year at WrestleMania?
I mean, it's crazy, right? It's like I said, everything happens very fast. I, for myself, I honestly got to say, I don't feel very different to how I felt, I don't know, during that time, professionally, if that makes sense. I go out there and do what I can do at that night to the best of my abilities. And, thankfully I'm in a position where that's what people like to see. I think, like I said, I'm very a person, I go step by step. What happened is behind me, and what's in front of me, that's tomorrow, and I focus on today. So I'm not I'm not a person that reminisces a lot about the past or dreams about the future, if that makes sense. I try to stay focused on the moment and get the most out of it. But at some point, I think once it's all said and done, whatever my career or there's a break or something like that, I'm really going to take time and re-enjoy a lot of this.
Now, you were well-traveled before you appeared on Raw and SmackDown. What are some of the things that you've learned since being on Raw and SmackDown that maybe you didn't know beforehand?
When it comes to travel and stuff, is what you mean?
Anything, really.
It's definitely... Let me think for a second to give you a good answer.
Oh, sure.
But overall, like I said, the travel was familiar too. It's a very different extent now, right? It's every week we pop out for a few days, and wrestle, do live shows, do TV. It's I also gotta say that flying in the United States is like driving a bus. It's way more common.
Okay.
When you're from Europe, flying still has that image of like it's a little bit of a luxury experience, if that makes sense. But because of the size of this country, it's very normal. So the miles on an airplane I racked up in the last year, must have been more than my whole life before. It's absolutely crazy. But also just in general, I think the speed of how fast everything happens, how many things you kind of like have to wing to get into your day and get your job done. It's very challenging sometimes, but it's also, it's a great learning process, and the journey is a lot of fun to actually make those experiences.
You're known for your chops.
Yeah.
What's the hardest anybody's ever chopped you?
It's a good question. Like I said, I don't think I have a real...
Nobody even registers.
No, like, it hurts everybody. It hurts me as much as it hurts everybody else. There's no science to that. But I think it must actually be a while ago. And I actually think it was in Germany. I think back then it was actually Pentagon.
Okay.
I remember that when he pulled his glove off and then whacked me, and I was split open right away, and I was like, "What just happened?" I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming. But that's not like I said, it's not the worst deal of it. I've experienced way more things where I look back and go like, "Ooh, that hurt." Wrestling bigger guys like Sheamus and Drew.
Of course. And as we wrap up, what's the hardest you feel like you've ever chopped somebody where you were like, I got all of that one, maybe even more than usual? Like, in baseball, home run hitters will hit home runs, but even then, sometimes they hit them 500 feet, and you go, oh.
Oh, no. I don't think I have a recollection of that.
Really?
No, I think I'm usually pretty effective.
Gunther, I want to thank you so much. Good luck at SummerSlam. Good luck at breaking this record. I'm pumped for it. Yeah. I'm ready to see the Honky Tonk Man toppled. I've still got faith in you. I think you can beat up the Honky Tonk Man. So.
I guess I could, but I shouldn't.
Good. Guys, until next time, we're out. Buying pay-per-views on NordVPN.com/Fightful is going to enhance your pay-per-view buying process. Now, one subscription to NordVPN has so many different benefits, but if you're a big pay-per-view buyer like myself, UFC, boxing, pro wrestling, all that good stuff, any combination of the three, if they're doing a fight circus or something like that, this subscription will pay for itself after one or two pay-per-view buys. Change your virtual location, pay for it at the prices that other people are paying for it in the UK, in Australia, etc., etc. And you can get different interfaces. Maybe you don't like Peacock and you want to check out the WWE Network the way that it used to be, the way that it was designed to be, the easy navigation, so on and so forth. Maybe you want to watch AEW without commercials. Maybe there's some other overseas services that you can't subscribe to and you want access to them. NordVPN.com/Fightful gives you that with a great deal and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Even better, 24/7 tech support. So if you have trouble navigating any of it, they can help you out. Fastest VPN on the planet, NordVPN.com/Fightful.